Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. So today, I want to talk about sacrifice and where it fits in regards to witchcraft. Um, I've been practicing witchcraft for about over 10 years. I'm gonna say I'm getting close to 12 years. So I've been practicing witchcraft for that long. Or I enter into paganism and then I begin to practice witchcraft. So I've got some experience. I've had opportunities to meet up with people who practice in the flesh, not just on the internet. I've had opportunities to talk with people on the internet because I don't discount that. I'm on the internet. Talk with, excuse me, people on the internet. And, I've come across a lot of people. I've been in a lot of different circumstances, blah, blah, blah. Just trying to give you an idea if I know what I'm talking about. When it comes to the concept of sacrificing, and I'm just going to break a couple things down. Sex, for instance, the idea of abstaining from sex to get something, to get a relationship, to get a husband, a wife, to get a sex partner. I don't know, whatever it is, or to get some sort of thing. This idea of being virtuous and almost virginal, so that you can get something from the universe, a spirit, a deity, or whatever, is bogus in witchcraft, because there are a bunch of practitioners using sex magic to get things. That's the obvious thing right there. The idea that you need to abstain from sex in witchcraft or sacrifice being sexual. It's completely unnecessary. I don't even know where that would fit in witchcraft. It's completely unnecessary. Also, the concept of sacrifice in general typically is being pushed on to those who practice witchcraft or witches. That concept, because it's coming from basically, the Judeo-Christian ideology and that whole system, the concept of sacrifice. So the way I see it, the way I view it, and if you're watching, hopefully you understand, you get where I'm coming from. But those who follow that religion and then come into witchcraft tend to still carry a little bit of that with them, a little bit of the ideology, and sacrifice might be one of them. Another thing is sacrificing your body. And I mean like bodily fluids, blood, your body, any parts of your body. You don't sacrifice any parts of your body. You don't, we see in movies, they'll, do like that on your hand, with a knife, and the blood, oh, you have to sacrifice blood. There's always this thing. Again, it's always told. These stories we see most on TV or movies about witchcraft are usually told from the lens of how it's viewed in Christianity. So again, here we go with the sacrifice. So no, you can offer your blood and bodily fluids and others into your witchcraft, into your workings. You can make an offering. An offering does not equate a sacrifice. Those are not the same thing. An offering is an act of love and blessing. Sacrifice, it doesn't, I guess you could sacrifice. Well, no, because if you love, it wouldn't be a sacrifice. So I see that doesn't go together to me. Sacrifice is being almost, you're a force in a way. It feels forceful, where an offering is just giving. I didn't have to sacrifice. I just gave it to you. See what I mean? It's not the same. Money. I don't think you have to sacrifice money in doing any sort of workings in witchcraft. You don't sacrifice money. So if you're paying for a service, right? You don't sacrifice. That's not considered a sacrifice in order to get, whatever the spell to work. That's an energy exchange, because money has energy. So that's an exchange. Because if it wasn't money, maybe, some people barter. They did do other things. I have this service. If you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Or I have these items I sell, and if you provide the service, can I pay you with these items? It could work like that also. But I think the concept of sacrificing money, sometimes I see people with $100 bills on their altars, and I'm like, and the concept is that, if you're willing to sacrifice this money, or they may say offer, to me, because the people I see do this are typically not people who maybe they would miss that $100. So it might be a literal sacrifice, but their belief is so high that not only will they receive the $100 back, but they'll receive even more. So I get the concept behind it. I do. I understand. I think most of us understand that concept. The thing about it is, it's completely unnecessary to put a $100 bill on your altar, and here's why. The amount of money you put on your altar, if your prosperity altar, let's say you are doing something like that, that really shouldn't matter, because you can use coins. You can use a check. You can create a check, and you can do that. You can create money. There's people have templates that you can go online and print out. You can create money to be used in the spiritual realm, or ancestor money and that sort of stuff. You can create all of that sort of stuff. And since you are a powerful witch, you would not only be able to create it, you will be able to see that as real money, because you have the ability and the focus and the intent to do so. So you don't actually need to take money that can be served, that energy, because money has energy. We assign it. We being the people in this country or in the world actually assign money energy. We recognize it as energy. Currency. So if we understand that, right? Why would you just let that sit there? Oh, because it's working on your altar, you think? Well, most likely it's going to be some sort of an ancestor altar. I'm just guessing here. They would rather see you. Yeah, I'm making a big leap here. I'm making a big leap here on what I assume. But they would rather see you use that currency. If you have $100 and you're doing a money spell because you need more, hold on to the 100, or see if you can find a way to make that $100 turn into more. Is there an investment that you can make? A small amount to flip that money a little bit, not drug related? Is there some sort of investment that you can make to flip that money? Can that be used as a sort of stall tactic until you get the rest of the money? Can you just pay that $100 to hold something off or something like that, or to put down on something you're trying to get? This is just how I think. And I tend to get more practical minded about this sort of stuff. So, to me, you got to make it make sense. I see you need money, and you keep this on your altar because you think the ancestors will give you more because you're willing to sacrifice this money. No, I don't agree with that. I really don't. I think you need to be I think it would be a blessing. I think it would be a show of gratitude to put the money to work, because at some point you had $100. Put the money to work. That would be the biggest act of gratitude. And they respond well to gratitude. They respond very well to when you give thanks and you are truly delighted that you got what you want, and that you're vibrating, you're in a high frequency. That's a great level of energy exchange right there. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the idea of sacrificing money. Sacrificing someone else or something else. So I don't think I should have to go over animal sacrifice. Nobody's sacrificing any animals. One, it's against the law. Two, I'm not a murderer. I don't want to kill any being, unless I'm in self-defense, but I don't want to hurt anything or anyone in order for me to get something. That's ridiculous. And it's unnecessary because there's so many other ways to get stuff. than sacrificing, another being. Um, on that same vein, there is no reason you need to sacrifice your soul, your spirit, to some sort of entity, to make some sort of a bond so that they will do your bidding so you can get what you want in life. That's also completely bogus and unnecessary. And I would say, I don't want to say, okay, dangerous. If you're thinking this way and you think you gave up your soul, if you're comfortable with that because to gain material wealth or material items or some sort of level of power, I'm trying to think, even if I was vibing on this, if this is something I wanted to do, I'd have to be handed the world and superpowers. I'd have to be handed more than that. I don't want to be powerful in my community or amongst my friends. I don't want to be, there would have to be so much more involved for me to wrap my mind around the concept of selling my soul. Again, there's a lot of spell work that's out there. There's a lot of, workings and all types of stuff from different cultures. You don't need to sell your damn soul. You don't need to bargain your soul to some low vibing being entity in exchange for whatever it is that you want. I can give you some spells that work. You don't need to do that. That's silly to even go down that road. And it's completely unnecessary. Like I said, there's so many other things that you can have that you don't need to do that. That you can have in your arsenal to manifest. First of all, we don't even talk about witchcraft. Let's talk about law of attraction and manifesting. I could give you some great helpful tips on just manifesting, just, intentionally, scripting, visualization, set up a vision board. There are so many other things we can do before we start talking about getting rid of our souls in exchange for something else. Let's just move past that, okay? That's not an option. So there's that. But you see, hopefully I've kind of painted a picture of the concept of sacrifice, because when you first say sacrifice, people are like, oh no, I don't sacrifice. But when I talked about that money thing and money on the altar, you probably didn't see that as a sacrifice. People sometimes, they're, especially if you're solitary, you get on your own, you come across some stuff on the internet, it seems like it makes sense. People are responding how they did this and how they're powerful. Show me how you powerful. Powerful where? Show me your power. And when I assume power meaning you command change, you command people. And if I don't know you and nobody, else know, where power are you wielding? Where? That makes sense to go to this extreme. I don't see it. So sacrifice in witchcraft, completely unnecessary. You don't need to abstain from sex. I'm not telling you to go out and be a whore. If you choose to, but sexuality is a part of who we are. And I think if you're practicing witchcraft, sexuality is, I don't want to say it's more important if you're a witch, but it can be, because that's a lot of energy. And that energy is, for the most part, that's some sacred energy, because the act of sex can turn into creating a person, Tap into that magic is what I'm saying. Tap into that magic. And so I would never tell somebody to abstain from sex. I would tell you to practice your sex magic too, especially if you're doing desire spells, if you're doing attraction spells. I would say, if you can work in sex magic, even if it's, self-sex magic, that's fine. The point is you're raising that level of energy. That's what it's about. It's that energy. So yeah, definitely don't sacrifice. Don't make these unnecessary sacrifices. It's just completely unnecessary in the craft. Sorry. That's that other system imprinting it on witchcraft, and you don't need to believe that, because that's not what it is. So thank you for watching. This is Mika. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.